have 104 books on my physical TBR.
I thought you knew best.
We're like so many characters. Yeah, like you could literally be bending down on one knee asking her to marry him and she's like, nah, he hates me. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 42, 50, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. I think I have 104 books on my physical TBR. Oh boy. Obviously this is completely out of control, so for 24 hours I'm gonna try and see how many books I can get off my physical TBR. Let's hope a lot. I really did not think I was gonna have over 100. I really thought it was, I'm like, there's no way I have 100. I have over 100. I knew I had a problem with book buying. I'm the first to admit it. I knew it was getting out of hand, but I didn't realize it had amassed to this amount. I really have no excuse, except I apparently know how to buy books way faster than I can read them. We've all been there though, you know, you find a book deal on Amazon or on Book Outlet or in store, or where you start a book in the series and then you have to read the next ones. Obviously, I mean, I think it's pretty easy to amass books. At least I find it very easy. But let's see how easy it is to get them off the TBR and onto the red shelf. Hi. I don't know if you can see, but Holly is here. She knows I'm not feeling well. The book I'm going to start with for this video is a book in the Finlay series. This is the first book and I've had it on my shelf for a while. I got it for a really great deal on Book Outlet a while ago. I read the back and basically our main character, could be Finlay, I think that's how you say her name, is an author and she is writing a new suspense novel, and someone overhears her talking about the plot of the book to her agent and they think that she is a person that you can hire to just dispose of people. Which is so crazy that that is what you would think when you hear someone talking about a plot of a book, is that you think, oh, you're just, I can hire you and I'm gonna actually hire you to do that. It's just the craziest thought to me. But this is a fiction book, so crazy works. She accepts the job, as it's put, disposes of a problem husband, which is crazy that she's just an average person and she's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna do this. Again, you know, each to their own. Anyways, I have never read a book like this. Usually my thrillers that I read are very, you know, serious. They're not a joke. So I'm really excited to read this book and see how it is.
Kind of hard to read when you have a whole cat in your face.
Okay, I am officially 1 hour in and I've read exactly 50 pages and I'm seeing more of, how do I put this? Why she's gonna do what she's gonna do to this guy, which, don't get me wrong, this is really weird, but it's really weird in a really fun, entertaining way. I don't know. So far I'm learning that she is divorced, her husband cheated on her, then got together with someone else. She has these 2 kids. Her life is so horrible. She's trying to be a writer. Her life sucks and she's broke. Sums it up. On this day, this fateful day, she goes and meets with her agent. They talk about the book. There's a woman beside them that overhears their conversation. And she then leaves her a note saying, $50,000, here's my husband and here's my number. She realizes what this woman wants her to do, and she then ends up going to this bar where he's at. That's where I'm at right now. I'm loving this book. I'm loving the like humorous take on it, on a thriller. I want to find out what she does. I do. Okay, I do. It's kind of hard to believe that right now I'm reading a book where she accidentally murders someone, some horrible, disgusting man, and digs a hole and buries him. While a cute cat sleeping on me. It's kind of weird. If you knew this sentence I just read, people need some therapy. A lot of therapy. people get the smell of a bloodhound and they can just know when a character is doing something that no one else needs to see, and they're like all running towards it. If only you knew what I was reading about, you would think I'm crazy too, hey? Okay, so I've just finished hour 2 and I'm about 100 pages in. So I'm reading about 50 pages an hour. I don't know if that's really good or not. I feel like I read like an average pace. I don't know. I've now gotten to the point where the horrible man has been disposed of. It's getting crazy. She's got another offer. I have no idea what she's gonna do with that. This has been the most like crazy, weird, unhinged book I've ever read. It's so outrageous of like what's gonna happen next. I don't know. How many lies she makes in this one phone call. There's one. Time like 1.5, 2, 3, 4. In about 5 pages, she said about like 4 lies. So, hey, we're so dusty.
I thought you knew best.
This book is just so crazy that it's like leaving me speechless. I don't know. Okay, Theara's in and the sun is really in my face. Basically now she's trying to solve a murder. This book is really what you would think it would be if you combined a murder mystery with like a stay-at-home mom, but then just thrown a bunch of like really crazy elements in there as well. Okay, so I am 4 hours in and still just under 20 hours left, which is crazy. But I am almost on page 200 of this book. I'm starting to feel bad for Finlay, which I shouldn't because she's fully gotten herself here and made some incredibly questionable choices, but I still, you know, she's been dealt a really awful hand in life. It goes from bad to worse, and you think, how much worse can it get? It just gets more worse and more worse again. I'm just kind of reading about the demise of her life so far. Let's keep going. I need a moment of silence for how stupid she's being right now. Wow. Wow. Who said Finlay Donovan was gonna have a love triangle? Okay, I'm now 5 hours in, and I have about 100 pages left in the book, about that much. I'm definitely reading slower because I'm getting really distracted by YouTube and Gilmore Girls, but that's okay. Now we have a police officer in the book. I'm not gonna say what his role is, but yeah. Picture the mess we have going on and then add a police officer. Like, you know, just what more could go wrong, you know? I'm just gonna be sitting here, hopefully getting this book done or getting more distracted. We'll see. When I tell you I had the most fun with this book, I finished it last night. There was like at least 2 times where I was completely shocked at the very end. And the epilogue leaves it on a cliffhanger, if you will, and it sets up book 2 really well. I thought this book was so well done. It took a really serious subject and it made a mystery fun instead of like dark and scary. I really liked our main character, and for me I find it usually hard to like characters in mystery books because I feel like they're just there to move the story along. They're not there for me to like them, but I really like her. She, you know, she needs some help in making decisions maybe. For sure, but I really did enjoy watching. I don't watch reading her story. Now I will have the content warnings in the description because there was a little bit of stuff in there. For Jeffrey, the first hero I ever had. That's so cute. Okay, bye. Excuse me? How would they expect me to know all this?
literally just as bad as I remember it being. Not like bad characters, just a lot. I have a feeling I'm gonna be going back to the beginning of this book about over 1 million times. Only now I've read the cast. What an accomplishment. This is so sad.
Okay, so obviously you know by now my next book I'm reading is Renegades. I keep on thinking there should be a "the" in front of the title, but there's not. This is actually the third time that I have tried to read this book in this series. I'm hoping that the third time's a charm. I'm determined to make this be the last time I'm going to attempt to read this book, because the first time I just only read like a chapter and a bit, and there was so many characters, there was so much going on, I was so confused, and I ended up reading something else. The second time I got to about 200 pages and then I quit again. So this time I'm determined to make it through all like 500 and some pages. Like, this one's very thick. This is how far I've gotten. On my third time reading this book, I think I'm getting more of a sense of the characters now. They're like so many characters. And what makes it even more confusing is that every single character has a name of what their ability is, and then also what their like formal name is, like a first and last name. So there's just so much to get in your head. But this is a sci-fi book with some romance. Basically, we have these people called the prodigies, and they can have different powers. They can make you fall asleep, they can disappear, their blood can turn into weapons, and the list goes on and on. Trust me, just read the cast list at the front. But basically each person has these different abilities, and that's where they get their name from. And in the past, people used to hate these people. They used to want to get rid of all of them, and they were hunted down. So then they started rising up, they started going against these people, and they called it the Age of Anarchy. And they are then called, there's a lot of different stuff, just stay with me here, just hold on. And they are the anarchists. Then we have the people called the renegades, who are the good people, essentially, who then saved the city from the anarchists and the gangs. So everyone loves the renegades. They have a parade for them. They love them so much. The anarchists hate them and want to end them. So our story begins with our main character trying to end one of the renegades' lives. And with everything that's going on in the world right now with Charlie Kirk and everything, it was really sad reading that part, because it just reminds me of what truly happened. But that was just the very, very beginning of the book, and it goes on from there. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's gonna happen. I know this is a trilogy. I do have all 3 books, but at least I bought book 2 after I already had started reading book 1 the second time. So I didn't just go and buy the whole series without reading the first book. I don't know what is gonna happen in the other books, or even what's gonna happen in this one, because there's a lot of meat in here. So anyways, that's the update. We're about 8 hours in, and I am about 60 pages into our next book, which is going to take me a very long time. Okay, so I'm now 9 hours in. I'm really surprised, because usually my attention span is about the size of an ant's, but I'm actually still surprisingly wanting to keep reading, even though this is the 3rd time that I have read this book. I'm really, really enjoying it so far. In the earlier clips, I looked up a like sci-fi ambient kind of video, and that's what came up, which has been really nice to read too. It just kind of makes it more of a full experience. Okay, we're officially 10 hours in, both hands. It feels like way longer than that than I've been reading, but it's been really fun. Why whenever I turn on the camera does my mind just completely blank on what I want to say? Okay, so this book is shaping up to have 3 of my favorite things combined in a book. It has the fantasy element with everybody having these different powers, and then we have the mystery element because our main character is trying to figure out who ended his mother's life. And then obviously we have the romance, which is enemies to lovers, because both of our main characters on the cover here, one of them is a renegade and one of them is an anarchist, so obviously they are completely against each other. Oh, it's just the best combination of those 3 things. My brain is still working on making files for all of these characters in the book, but it's actually doing pretty good. I am concerned though, if I don't read this series back to back, that my brain will be like, oh, we don't need all of this, and throw those files into the garbage disposal of my brain. Let's see how farther I can get in hour 11. Okay, so we're about to be 12 hours in, almost halfway there. Right now I'm kind of at a slow part of the book, but something really exciting happened. Basically, there are these things called the trials where people can try and become a renegade. So our main character fakes her identity, enters the trials, and ends up on our main male character's team. So now she's literally in, quote, enemy territory. She's in their headquarters. She's trying to get information out of them. Basically, we're just like touring the headquarters. That's what's kind of slow right now. Our main character also has a secret identity where he is the sentinel, and everyone is trying to figure out who this guy is because no one knows his identity, and it's actually him. And his power is that whatever he draws will come to life. So he draws tattoos on himself and he gives himself those powers. So to me, that is just such a cool aspect. So I tried to look this book up on Libby, and they didn't have the first 2 books, but they had the 3rd book. I don't know why. And the 3rd book was available, which is crazy. Because usually it's like, oh, you're like the 42nd person in line, and, you know, you can read it in like 7 months. So that's great, because I wasn't wanting to read it now. That's why I wasn't looking or anything. Just stick to reading the thick book. Okay, clearly some hours have passed. I got super sick a few days ago, and that was unnecessary. I just took my distaste over being sick out on the book. I obviously was not gonna film when I was super sick, but I was able to read in bed and able to finish this book. It is a very chunky 530 some pages. I highly recommend. I am so excited to read the other 2 books in this trilogy. I'm so glad I picked this up. I'm so excited to read other books by her as well. This was so fun. With the whole secret identity going on where she's trying to infiltrate the Renegade's base as posing as one of them was just such a cool aspect to it. Now, I will say, so our female main character has an alias and she goes by Nightmare, and that is the person that is this enemy that the Renegades are trying to find. But to infiltrate this base, she acts as one of them, as a renegade, and she gets the alias Insomnia. Basically, at one point in the book, our main male character comes across Nightmare, her in her other form. He hears her talk and everything, but he still cannot put 2 and 2 together that this is the same person that he's literally been spending all of his time with and that he started to like. Can you just take a second, think, use your brain, just sit, take a second and think, that voice sounds familiar. I don't know. I just feel like if you spent days and days with this person and you've started to really like them, wouldn't you know, hey, there she is. I was gonna say that I'll stop complaining, but I feel like I can't. I feel like that is such an obvious thing. Sure, if you obviously she has a mask that she wears when she's under this when she is acting as Nightmare, so obviously he couldn't tell by looking at her, but come on, you hear her voice. I mean, anyways, I'm acting like I would do so much better when I would die on page 1. I highly recommend. I loved the sci-fi, fantasy, mystery all thrown into one. The plot twist at the very last page, I was thinking, what if this certain thing happened? I was right. It was kind of a passing thought, but I was thinking there's probably going to be some big plot twist, because I'm I've read enough books so I can kind of tell when they're tiptoeing around something. But I'm also the same person where there will be literally crumbs sprinkled everywhere of what's going to happen of a plot twist. But I'm also that same person who could literally pretty much get smacked in the head by a plot twist, by how obvious it is, and I'm where is it? But at least I did see this one coming. It makes me so excited to read book 2. I love the whole enemies to lovers. This was actually enemies to lovers. I loved how our main female character starts to learn more about the Renegades and starts to question if she really does want to take them down, and she starts, she starts liking one of them. She starts realizing that they are not as horrible as she thought that they were. So it was cool to see her like inner thoughts. Ew, that was a fly. So yeah, this is the second book of this video complete. Okay, so I'm about to start the final book of this video. I did not start the timer again. I'm gonna go with 8 hours and 7 minutes. That rings a bell. Okay, yeah, we have about 8 hours left in the 24 hours. I just restarted my Kindle because it is being so stubborn. It will not delete a book. I'm like, you know what? I have like so many books on my Kindle. I'm gonna delete one because I don't need it. My Kindle's like, no. I was trying to stop becoming a pack rat, but the Kindle is not letting me. The theme of this video seems to be me reading books that I have started and never finished at one point. I am going to be reading Song of the Valley, which is the first book in a series. I seem to be loving to start series as well. That's a problem for another day though. It says I was like 70-some% through this book and I never finished it. I feel like I might have quit my Kindle Unlimited and then I never finished this book. I don't know, but yeah, I seem to have a problem with finishing things. I'm determined to finish this book as well. So I was really just wanting to read something on my Kindle because I've just been reading physical books and I couldn't get them on like Libby or anything. So I'm really excited to just be able to read on my Kindle and I can just rot in bed or do whatever I want and I don't have to deal with like a big 500-page book. Okay, so I just reread the description because even though I have read pretty much the whole book, I wasn't really sure what actually happened in it. Again, with the memory problems. This takes place in Montana, which I love Montana, so I love when books are set in Montana. So she is going to spend the summer on her family's ranch in Montana, and then she's going to move to Europe. But of course there is a next door neighbor, which is the other main character of the book. She blames him for something that was really bad that happened in her past, and they have to work together because he offers her a job, which is like her dream job. So she'd be an idiot not to take it, right? So it's called Enemies to Lovers, which is more just like, they don't like each other. It's now starting to come back to me, little parts of the book, and I was really enjoying it too. So I don't know what my problem is. I really need to stop. I really gotta fix this habit. I'm really excited about this.
Someone's super invested.
And let's start the timer. Okay, first of all, I know that there is cracks on here. It is not the actual screen, it is the screen protector, which thank goodness I put it on because otherwise I'd probably have completely ruined my Kindle. I need to just take it off. But yes, I'm aware that I'm destructive. I unfortunately, oops, I've had this Kindle and I still don't seem to know how to run it fully. Unfortunately, I am going to go back to the very beginning and we're going to start here. Look at that cover though, like, I love it. Okay, I haven't even technically started the book yet and I've already highlighted 2 things. I usually seem to either highlight like every other sentence in the book or I won't highlight anything at all. I know there's definitely a healthy relationship to have with the highlighter button, but I can't seem to find that. Okay, so about 7 hours left and I've learned more about why she hates him. What happened is there was an accident with her father and he ended up dying, and it was because of a horse that the main character had sold to her family. So that's why she blames him and she doesn't like him. But it's like, that's the past. It's been completely proven that it was not their fault. They were not doing that on purpose, but it's like she's continually needing to hold this grudge. And I kind of just want to jump in the book, shake her a little bit and be like, please, like, we're a 23-year-old woman. Can we grow up? I don't know. I'm not loving it, to be honest. I just feel like she's acting very immature, yeah. I guess you wouldn't know because you haven't read the book, but yeah. Hopefully it gets better, but yeah. Ow! Hi. conversation. She gets all mad, shocking, and she has not been on a horse in a while. She decides to gallop away on the horse. Then she freaks out. He comes to her aid, and then he asks her if she's okay, which I know is just the worst question. Such a rude question you could ask. And she just says, "I'm fine," really rudely. He's just trying to be nice. This, like, and then she blames him that it happened, even though she's the one that made the horse go faster. Oh, wow. The audacity this girl has. Okay, I have about 6 hours left, so I need to take a deep breath and a lot of patience before I continue. Okay, the official decision is in, and I don't like her. I really don't. Okay, I'm gonna have an example to back myself up. Basically, he has a summer program to help teenagers where they can, like, come and meet the horses and go camping and stuff like that. And she is helping him with that, with, like, marketing and everything. And she comes over to his place. There's, like, another woman there being a trainer, and she immediately just dislikes her. Immediately. She's like, and then eventually she's like, the look of his face, the look of her face, probably both. Actually, no, she hates both of them. The look of her face just annoys me or something. And I'm like, she's been nice to you. Like, I don't know. She's just, he is being so nice to her. And I'm like, you could do so much better. Please move on. But also don't, because I kind of want to see what happens. But yeah, I do not support this. But also, I think when she gets warmed up to him, I feel like they'll be good together. So, okay, but it's kind of hard to enjoy a romance book when half of the main characters I don't like. I think she needs to have some behavior lessons, and then we can talk. She just asked him if he has his eye on anyone, and obviously it's her. And I'm like, keep your eyes peeled. Like, there's a lot of people here. It's a party. Mingle, you know? Now she thinks that dating without intention is pointless. Why do I relate so much to her right now? Okay, so there's like 5 hours left, and unfortunately I can actually relate to the female main character. I know. Basically she at one point says that she hates making small talk, which is me. I say that all the time. I think it should just be like not a thing. I hate it so much. So at this point she's at a party and she makes a comment about how she hates making small talk, and I also despise it. I literally, from when I was before reading this book, I had an annotation. I was like, it should be banned at all costs, because yes, it should. And then she also makes a comment where she's like, I would rather be at home reading a book like a grandma. And I'm like, yeah, also relate to that. So yeah, it doesn't change my opinion about her though. But a part of this book that I really do like is she's kind of trying to figure out what she wants to do with her career. She wants to move away from her childhood home completely around the world, and she's trying to figure out what she should do. And I really like this quote. It said, life was going to work out the way it was supposed to. I ran across a verse in the book of Jeremiah as I was reading my Bible late last night that read, for one of the plans I have for you declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. And I love that verse. It's one of my absolute favorites, so I love that's like incorporated in this book. Okay, so she was just on a date with another guy. He shows up, realizes that she's super uncomfortable, texts her if she's done yet with the date, and then he'll drive her home. And then he gets her favorite pie, and they go watch the sunset together. What? Someone needs to teach this girl, and this girl being me, how to use a camera. It has to face the person. For some reason, for like the second time, this is what I filmed. Kind of weird and kind of funny when like we're reading a book. I literally have no excuse for that. basically what I was saying is that I find in books they'll like introduce the character's family and their siblings, and it's like this one brother went to this college, this one brother does this one brother does that, and it's like they're just three guys to me, but I'm trying to keep their names in my head. I'm not going to keep where they've gone to school, what they do for a living, what their personalities are like. It's like they're just supporting characters. I don't really care about them. Once their book comes out, then I'll want to know. But you're gonna have to retell me all that information anyway, because trust me, it has been thrown out years ago.
Okay, so basically they were both on the porch talking, and he was about, I think, to say that he loves her, and then her oldest brother comes out of the house and completely interrupts them. It's like, Dean, why are you not snoring in your bed right now? It's the middle of the night. Why are you interrupting this? I've discovered that just when you think you have life figured out, something or someone will come along and completely derail your perfectly laid plans. The beauty of it is, though, that if you let go of the need to control and learn to trust, change won't break you. God will use the uncertainty to mold you into his vision. 2 hours left, we're almost there. You can just see her little ears poking out. That's so cute.
Can I sit here? She's sitting where I would sit, so she gets precedence over me. But we have exactly 1 hour left, a book to finish, and some watered down, very questionable coffee. I've officially finished Song of the Valley, and first thing I'm gonna say is I know I was being very harsh on the main character of this book, and I really don't care for her, but besides that, this book, the sun is just determined to hide. Besides that, this book was so good. I still did enjoy it. I love her writing. This is a debut novel, and you wouldn't know it by the writing. It was so good. I love her style. I love the horse ranch. I love how the book ended. I love how her journey to figure out what she wanted to do with her life was in this book. I can really relate to that. And I'm super excited to read the other books in this series. The main male character in this book was great. So yeah, literally my only complaint is just the main character's kind of attitude, the way that she approaches her conversations with people. But I am someone that I do like find it hard sometimes to like the female main character in books. I feel like a lot of the time I feel like authors write them as just these clueless people. Yeah, like he could literally be bending down on one knee asking her to marry him, and she's like, nah, he hates me. It's like, no, he doesn't, you know? So yeah, I definitely am not one that loves all the female main characters that I read about. I would still highly recommend this book because I think that was just a personal thing, and I really only felt that way reading it this time around. Like the last time that I read it, I wasn't like feeling this strongly about it, so just a personal thing. Alright, so because of this video, 3 books are off my TBR. Yes, one of them was on my Kindle TBR, but that TBR also is very out of control, so I'm happy to have another book knocked off that. So overall, I read the first book in the Finlay series. We read Renegades, which is also the first book in the series that I will definitely be continuing, but I don't think I'm going to be continuing this series. And we finished Song of the Valley. So yeah, I always feel good when I can get a book read off my TBR, so I'm very happy that all of these books got read. And I read all of these books in 24 hours. I have like probably about 25 minutes left, which I will just start another book with. But obviously I'm not going to finish a whole book in 25 minutes, so that's not going to be included in this video. So yeah, I definitely will be doing this again in the future. Overall, the 24 hours did feel very long. I thought that, you know, the time would go by faster. 24 hours is a very long time to just sit and read, which I now realize. But I'm really happy that I did this video, and it was a good excuse to sit down and read some books that have been staring at me on my shelf for a very long time. If you enjoyed the video, you could always give it a like, and if you want to see more, you could always subscribe. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye!